Okay, so the our goal at the other end of this is to put together a Blu-ray version of, in this particular case, 3 movies that I own and that I'm trying to create my archival copy of. And what I've done is I have put together a little background video, a little clip from each one of the 3, and I composed just a little song to go with it. These are all things that all of you can have the capability of doing. Now, most of the time I show you how to do things with absolutely free tools. In this particular case, it's not absolutely free for sure. So I have the controller set up so that if you go horizontal with it, use the horizontal buttons, it goes between these 3, and then if you go up and down, it goes between these 2. Now I'll show you how to do that. Hi, it's Dr. Games, and I wanted today to do a video showing you how you can put all of this Blu-ray knowledge that we have accumulated over the last couple of years together. So what I've done is I've recently bought a few new movies. They're new to me, but they're old movies. And as you know, I like to consolidate my movies for my personal backup copies on Blu-rays. So I will show you the process I went through from soup to nuts, as they say. So this is the first thing I did was I consolidated all of the movies into one giant movie. And I did that with something called DVD shrink. In this particular version, it's 3.2. You see there, I have to have it set up as a admin rights kind of thing. So I start off by opening up the file, and in this particular case, it's my what's the word I'm looking for? It's the copyright-free version of it. So I went ahead and opened it up, and then you go to reauthor, and you move over whichever ones you're looking at. Now, what you will see is after you add things, it's going to want, if you leave this compression check as automatic, it will go ahead and shrink stuff because it thinks that you're trying to load everything onto a 4.7 gigabyte disk. That's what this is for. It was really designed to take 8.5 dual layer DVDs and turn them into 4.7 single layer DVDs. And that's all for the good. I mean, and it's fantastic at that, by the way. But in our particular case, you always want to go to no compression, because you don't want to lose the video quality because it's automatically trying to downsize it. In this particular case, I'm going to get rid of the director's cut, and I like subtitles. And so I went through that and I added all of the other items in there, and that's already been done. So I just wanted to show you kind of how that worked. And then for the 3 movies that I'm putting on this one Blu-ray, and you could put more because, again, when you do 720 by 480, that's NITSE, or if you do the PAL equivalent, a lot more of those movies will fit onto a Blu-ray than just one. So, and by the way, upscaling to 1080i or 1080p doesn't do anything for you in terms of quality of the video. You're just you got more pixels, but there's no more data, so it doesn't really do any good. Now I'm going to show you a trick. So this is Vegas Pro, the old Sony version of it. That I actually have the Magic version on another computer. But what I'm going to do is I am going to take the IFO files and I am going to put those into Sony Vegas. And we'll go ahead and take a look and see what it's doing. Oh, it's asking. So yes, indeed I do. And I'm going to do that for each one of the 3 movies that I want to consolidate on here. So we'll do the next one. Notice you'll just stick it right at the end there. And then the last one, which is 3. Here we go. Go. Okay. Now there's kind of 2 ways. What you're going to find out is if you look at the audio, only the last one actually includes only the last one of these actually includes all of the. Okay, it's thinking. It's actually, so if we go here and we look at what's going on right now, we can see that it's actually reading in the information into memory for the, it's reading all of this into the memory. So we'll have to, we'll come back here in a second and re-engage once it's all read in, which is going to take a couple minutes, but you don't want to sit and listen to me gab while that's going on. Okay, looks like it's actually done already, which was about 20 seconds after I turned it off. I usually have the resource monitor up or the task manager just so that I can see when things are going on, if it's actually, no kidding, kind of broken or whether it's actually doing something. So this is the only video, the last one is the only one that actually, when you bring it in, just as I did with that kind of trick, brought in the audio piece to it as well. So what's the point of bringing? Well, we have to do something else. We have to do something else to ensure that we get all of the audio that we need. So what I did was I went back in and I demuxed the actual audio and video streams. And then I went ahead and used another program. So you have seen me use something called PGC Demux before. It's right here. And again, I have that running as an administrative privileges. We just go back to that same consolidated, video. I'm going to pick out the particular IFOs, and there's only 3 of them. Apply. I wouldn't actually have to demux the video stream. It's up to you. But it is important that you demux the audio streams and the subpic stream. Well, actually, the subpic streams you don't need to do either. That is a whole nother story. So you could leave both those off, but you do need the audio streams. And then you would pick where to do it, and you do process. But we don't need to do that because I've already done that. And then we go to another program, Audio Muxer. And in this particular case, it's version 0.9.6.1. You don't do it here. You go up to Tools and you do Audio Conversion. Select Audio. And in our particular case, we've got the AC3 files or Dolby Digital. And then what I did is I broke those out into 48K. And I didn't remix them as stereo. I just did it as mono waves. That will actually give you the best result. And when you do that, after you do that, you will end up with one for each one of the 5.1 channels, including the LFE. Now, if you wanted to be fancy, you could remix and do all that. But what I did is I just took the center, let's do this one. I'll just show you how we did it. So went ahead and put it in there. It's going through and reading that right now. So again, while we're waiting, let me talk about subtitles a little bit. I'm ultimately going to put these into DVD Architect, and to do that, I had to convert them into the DVD Architect sub form. There are two ways that I use to get at that. The first thing that I did was for the items that appeared to have subtitles. So by the way, that wasn't true across the board. Only two of the movies appeared to have subtitles. For those particular ones, I used something called Subtitle Edit, which you've seen me use before. So where are we at here? Subtitle Edit. And I use this all the time. It's fantastic. So one of the things it lets you do is it lets you import from the VOBs and IFOs. So we would just go back to the consolidated, and whichever ones you wanted to grab the subtitles out of, you would do that. So I went ahead and grabbed the subtitles out of that. I put them in, and we've gone through this in previous discussions. When it was all done, well, actually, let me back up a second. So once it was all done, I went back and I just wanted to see if I could get the closed captions out of the one that wasn't showing any subtitles, and verily, I was able to. For some reason, it had closed captions in it in the DVD, but it didn't have subtitles. And to get at those, I used a different extremely cool program called CC Extractor GUI. Now, in this particular one, what you're going to want to do, and you drag and drop them in there, is you put in all of the VOB files in order, and then under input options, you want to go back in, and these are part of the same video. They were cut by a generic tool. Then you go to execution, and you can click on it, and it goes through. You just click start, and it produces those. And it does it in SRT format, which is, by the by, the accuracy rate on these is about 1,000%. I mean, it's just, it's of all of the tools I have, it's the most accurate. So if it's got closed captions, if it's a NITSI and it's got closed captions, this is absolutely the best tool for getting an SRT out. So what I did then is I use this tool, join subtitles, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And of course, I've already done this, so you see. So I have the first part, add that, and then I went ahead and add the second part, which didn't have him, and then I go ahead and click on join. And yea, verily, you've got all of the subtitles are included in. Now, an important note, a very important note, when I did this, I made sure that I also, when I went to the CC extractor, I included all of the VOBs so that it had all of the times right. So even though the middle VOBs didn't have any closed caption, actually the first two didn't have any closed captioning in them, I included those in the CC extractor because I wanted to make sure that the timing was right. So very important. They were kind of in there as fillers, but it was the to make sure the timing was right. And then when you're all done, you can do a save as, and you can do it as Sony DVD Architect with line numbers .subformat, and that's what I did. So by the by, it's always best to clear out your subtitles between activities. So once I had those complete ones in, I'll show you in a second how that actually worked. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about DVD Architect. What I did was, in creating the particular project, I wanted to make sure that it's set up the right way. So it's Blu-ray disc 25. I'm not going to be doing a dual layer Blu-ray disc. I've got my megabits per second at 6, and you'll see why that's the case in a second. And then I had it as ACM stereo at depth 16 and then 48 kilohertz as the sample rate. Which, by the way, these are pretty standard. Now, you could also have done either stereo or surround. In our particular case, and if you did do the stereo, you'd want to put it at 224 because that is how it came off of. That's what our rendering was set at. But in our particular case, I'm just leaving it at 16 and 48, and that was already all set up. Then I added these, and what I did was, and you'll see here, I actually added the whole long video, and then I just, for each movie, I went ahead and put the start and finish times to when those movies started and finished. So, see for that one, and then for that one. Now, if I had just left in the video and the audio, it would not have taken any time at all to do its initial go through with it and mux of it. With a Blu-ray, there's always going to be some muxing involved because DVD Architect needs to turn it from either AVC or MPEG into V2, M2, TS. That said, it doesn't take very long at all if you have it set up and render in one of the formats that's compatible. I mean, it literally doesn't take any time at all. However, in our particular case, I added subtitles in. Now notice that I put the subtitles in for the whole thing. I didn't try to do it piecemeal or anything else. If you're going to do this kind of fancy way of doing it, which I highly recommend, by the way, because it gets rid of any timing issues whatsoever. Make sure that you've got consistent sound, everything else. But when you do that, it now is going to have to go through and ensure that the subtitles are muxed in, and that takes longer. So I had that was one of the. These are the 3 pictures that I took out of the movie to use for the little bubbles. But it was almost 4 hours of video, 3 hours and 50 minutes. It took about an hour to remux, or at least that's what it was estimating. In actuality, it did it in less than 45 minutes. So still pretty darn impressive. It's 5-to-1 in terms of compression, and that was everything all ready to go. And in fact, I'm burning this even as we speak. It's already gone through. And it's less than 25 minutes right now, and it's actually done. Now it's just going through and verifying the make sure that everything's accurate on there. So then you do make Blu-ray disc. And in my particular case, I just did prepare, and that would be that. So, okay, so let me show you how I did the rendering, and I'm just as an example, I'm going to show you the intro video. I'm going to bring it down, and yes, I am adjusting that. So I did that, and I did this background independent of this. Now I have to link them up. So I wanted something that was about the same length as this. I'm going to go ahead and have it do a fade out on both ends, both with the And I added a fade out at the beginning too. I'll show you there. So it comes to black. So that allows me to go ahead and do the fade out at the end, and it's black for a little bit, and then it does its thing. So it's always best to have the movie a little longer than your sound when you're doing it, because you just never know with the editing and everything else. And this is the same, by the way, you want to render this in the same format that you're going to do the other DVD videos. So in this particular case, it's an MPEG 2, and I'm doing this, and I labeled this myself, NITSE DVD Architect NITSE widescreen video and stream. This is I customized it and then saved that particular one. So I'm going to click on this, not because I'm going to customize, but because I'm going to show you the settings. So I'm doing DVD output type. It does all different kinds of things you can pick to do. 720 by 480. This is all from a previous setting, but just so you can see what it looks like. And then profile main. You could actually, if you want to do this as high, you could do that as well. Same thing with level. And then it has to be, if you're going to do a 720 by 480 on a Blu-ray, you're going to have it interlaced. They have it extremely high video quality. And then this is important. This is less vital that you've actually got. This is less vital that you've actually got that you change these so much as you know what they are. So in our particular case, our average being 6 million bytes per second, 6 megabytes, and then the minimum being 192. So that's actually important. If you wanted to, you could set it as a constant rate, and that would be okay too. Then for video, I didn't do anything with this. I just left this all as it was. And for the audio, I did it as stereo. I did it as a layer 2, 224, 48K. And I didn't need to set the copyright bit or anything else anyway. So I did that, and then I just rendered it. And I put that out here in K-Video. So that is the same process I used with the main movie. So this is another way to do it. It's not all free tools in this particular case. A lot of free tools, but not all free tools. So the Vegas Pro 12 that I have here now, I'm pretty sure you could get a back copy of it, a used copy, for not all that much. I do know that Vegas Pro 16, which I have a copy of, also does the same thing. You can do the same thing with it, in that you can put the IFO or VOB files in there and do the same kind of encryption. So this works for, I'm going to say, for Vegas Pro 12 Plus. Anyway, I would, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Other than that, thank you very much for watching the video, and have a great day.